Hi, I'm Bill. I want to start today with something that confused me for a long time. There were moments when the desire was there, the interest was there, the intention was there. Everything that should have led to a normal sexual response was present. And yet my body did not respond the way that it should have. Now, if you have ever experienced this, you know exactly how disorienting it is. It's not like there was no desire, because the desire was real. Something else was getting in the way. What I discovered is that traditional Chinese medicine has a precise explanation for exactly this experience. And understanding it changed how I approached my recovery. Now, in the last few videos, we've been talking about the 5 organ systems that govern your sexual energy. The kidneys that store it. The heart that fuels passion and circulation. The liver that controls its smooth flow. The spleen that produces vital energy that feeds your whole system. And the lungs that connect everything to the life force with each breath. But here's the question most men have when they learn about this. Well, if the energy is stored in those organs, how does it actually get to where it needs to go? Well, the answer for that is the meridian system. Now, think of your body's energy system like a house with plumbing. The organs will be the water source. The kidneys, the heart, the liver, they are the reservoirs and the pumps that generate and store the water. But water in a reservoir doesn't do anyone any good if the pipes are blocked. The meridians are the pipes. They are the pathways through which the vital energy flows from the organs to every part of your body. And that includes your sexual center. When the pipes are clear and the flow is unobstructed, energy reaches its destination and everything works just the way it should. But when the pipes are blocked, it doesn't matter how much water is in the reservoir, it can't get through. This is exactly what traditional Chinese medicine describes as the root cause of most sexual dysfunction in men. Not always a lack of energy in the source organs, but a blockage somewhere in the pathway between the organs and your sexual center. Now, let me tell you a little about what this system actually looks like. Traditional Chinese medicine has mapped 12 primary meridians running through the body. They run symmetrically, one on each side, from the top of your head all the way down to the soles of your feet. Each one corresponds to a major organ system and carries the energy of that organ throughout the body. For over 2,000 years, practitioners have observed, refined, and documented these pathways in extraordinary detail. The foundational text of Chinese medicine describes the meridian system with a precision that modern researchers find remarkable. And here's something that's worth knowing. Western science is beginning to find physical evidence for these pathways. There was a study published in the journal Science Advances that identified a network of fluid-filled spaces in the body's connective tissue that researchers have proposed as a possible physical basis for the meridian system. Another study published in the Anatomical Record found significant correspondence between the meridian pathway and the planes of connective tissue that run through your body. The gap between ancient observation and modern measurement, that's closing. Now let me show you specifically why this matters for erectile dysfunction. There are 3 meridians that have the most direct connection to your sexual function. The first one is the kidney meridian. Now the kidney meridian begins at the sole of your foot and it travels up your inner leg through your perineum. That's that point midway between your scrotum and your anus. And then it goes up through the spine, the kidneys, the liver, the lungs, and the heart before it ends at the root of your tongue. Notice that pathway. It connects the foot to the perineum, to the kidneys, to the heart, and to the tongue. One continuous energy highway linking your foundational sexual energy to your body's core vital systems. When this meridian is flowing freely, kidney energy reaches your sexual center. When it's blocked, that energy cannot make the journey. Now the second, that's the liver meridian. The liver meridian travels up the inner leg and specifically circles the external genitals before entering the lower abdomen and connecting to the liver. Now, this is not a coincidence of anatomy. In TCM, the liver meridian circulation of the genitals is precisely why liver energy plays such a critical role in your erectile function. When the liver energy stagnates, which happens most commonly through chronic stress and suppressed frustration, the meridian constricts. The blood and energy that should flow freely to your sexual organs is restricted, and then erectile difficulties follow. The third is the pericardium meridian. Now, this is sometimes called the sex meridian. The pericardium meridian surrounds and protects your heart. It governs circulation and helps regulate hormones, including testosterone. In TCM, it creates the energetic bridge between love and physical sexual expression. When this meridian is open and flowing, intimacy feels connected and alive. But when it's congested, often through emotional armoring or disconnection from a partner, the physical capacity may be present, but the experience feels hollow and disconnected. Now, let me tell you what this understanding meant for me personally. When I first grasped the meridian concept, I had one of those moments where something that had been confusing suddenly made complete sense. The desire was there. Now, I had been working with my organs, so the energy in the source organs was there, but something in the pathway was blocked. So, what caused this blockage? It was the chronic stress of years of overwork that stagnated my liver meridian. The anxiety that I had been carrying had depleted and constricted my kidney meridian. And the emotional disconnection that ED itself produces had congested the pericardium meridian. 3 pathways partially blocked at the same time, each one reinforcing the others. Now, understanding this gave me something that I didn't have before. not just a description of the problem, but a map of exactly where to work on it. Now, here's what's remarkable about the meridian system, just from a practical standpoint. You do not need needles to work with it. Now, acupuncture is one way to stimulate and clear the meridians. And research has documented the effectiveness of acupuncture, especially for psychogenetic erectile dysfunction. Now, for those who don't know what that is, it's the inability to achieve or maintain an erection due to psychological factors like anxiety, stress, depression, or relationship issues. And it affects about 40% of all cases. But TCM also teaches self-care practices that anyone can use at home to keep your meridians flowing freely. There are specific massage techniques along the meridian pathways. There are tracing practices that follow the flow of each meridian with your hands to strengthen and reinforce the energy flow. Simple daily practices that only take a few minutes, but produce results that build steadily over time. These practices are what I teach in detail in my full program. They are the daily maintenance work that keeps the pipes clear and the energy flowing to where it needs to go. Now, I want to leave you with something that I think reframes this entire topic. Erectile dysfunction is not a destination. It is not a permanent state that you are stuck in. It is a description of what happens when the energy system that governs sexual function is out of balance. And an energy system that is out of balance can be brought back into balance. That is what traditional Chinese medicine offers. Not a drug that forces the single mechanism to work harder, a complete system for restoring the balance and flow that allows your body to do what it was designed to do naturally. My full program teaches you that system, step by step. And the link to it, it's in the description below. Now, if this connected some dots for you, subscribe so that you don't miss what comes next, because we still have a lot to cover. Remember, you are not broken. The energy is there. We just need to clear the path.